Welcome to the Real American Grit podcast. We're talking to real people that have actually turned wrenches and been in the trenches in their companies. They've signed payroll checks. They've gotten in there. They've replaced systems. They've done whatever they have to do, and they've gotten dirty and made things happen. Today, we're talking to Soepa and Andrei. They're out of Northern California, and I partnered with them. We got going. They're in their 5th month in business and already on a $10 million run rate for the year, and they're already very profitable in their company. They did some amazing things, made it happen in 5 months to get to a $10 million run rate. They did $890,000 in revenue in their 5th month in business. They're going to talk about their secrets and how they got there and the things they did and what they did from going greenfield. This is not an acquisition, by the way. So let's get into this. All right. So you guys, I think we got to cover this at first. We met each other at Pantheon. Right?
Yes.
Soepa and I did. Mm-hmm. And by the way, Soepa's kind of an interesting guy. His real name's Tenzin, and he was given his name by the Dalai Lama. Yeah. But the Dalai Lama names everybody Tenzin. So every person has the same name. And so we got 4 people working at this company, Mr. Poppy, that have the name Tenzin. And so he's Soepa, and then one of them's T, and then one, everyone's.
Yep,
yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway, bottom line is, all right, so Soepa, you met me at Pantheon at the user conference. You came up to me and tell that story. Like, what happened?
So Pantheon was the first time. I mean, I think we should start with, we're not traditional HVAC guys or home service people at all. And it's the first time that I went to any event like this, and my eyes are like wide open. I see Tom Howard, like I've seen his podcast and everything, and I see him walking like just the first day on like Thursday I get there and I see Tom walking, I'm like, celebrity. I see Tom and I run up to him and I'm like telling him about this company that we started, Mr. Poppy, and telling him like, oh, we're at like $3 million run rate and our phone's blown up, but we need help and just things like that. And I talked to Tom and I was like, we're looking for a partner. And like, I just run up to him and Tom's just like, wait. He stops for a second. He's like, what'd you say? He was like, yeah, your phone's ringing. You guys did $3 million. Like, you don't even you're not even an HVAC guy.
This is the old company.
This is the old company. Yeah.
So this is before Mr. Poppy.
So Soepa has a company. He comes up to me, and by the way, people come up to me all the time saying, oh yeah, can you mentor me or whatever else? And I don't have the time. Like I want to help everybody, but like I don't have the time. He's coming up to me, but while he's talking to me, I was trying to help him answer some questions, and your phone's ringing like 4 or 5 times while we're standing there. I'm like, dude, why is your phone ringing? He's like, oh, those are just customers calling. Like they want estimates, and I just don't have time to get to them. And I'm like, what? And I'm looking at him, and he's just like turning him down. Like, sorry, I can't get to it. I'm booked. And then he tells me he's booked out a month with this heat pump company that he had started with someone else. And then that thing hadn't worked out. And I'm like, wait, what? You're booked out a month, 2 months at the time? And he's like, yeah. And so what's the point of, taking more customer calls if I can't get to them anyway? It's like, how many install crews do you have? He's like, oh, like 4. Anyway, so we talked and stuff and hit it off. And then you decided basically you're going to start over. And Andrei over here had been trying to get a electrical company going, and so you guys put together, and we started kind of worreally working in January. You had some revenue from your stuff before.
Yeah, we had a little time. We kind of testing the waters on stuff in November and December. We're just kind of like trying out different types of jobs to do. I had like 2 electricians, and I was like, all right, well, let's see.
You got 1 knob and 2 replacement job for electrical in December is your first one ever.
Yeah.
And you said you had like 10 people on the job, and it took like 2 weeks.
2.5, yeah.
With everything going wrong.
That was rough.
So
I was on that job.
Yeah, so I'm hearing these stories, right? But the cool thing is Soepa and Andrei were the number 1 and number 2 sales guys at Audi.
Number 1 and
number 1.
No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding.
And at Audi in the U.S. And so I was like, these guys are great sales guys, and they don't know diddly squat about electrical or HVAC.
I knew some. I've watched a lot of YouTube.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm like, all right, there's got to be something here. And if they can make the phone ring that much that literally Soepa for his old company was just turning down phone calls. He's already booked out a month and a half. I'm like, we just got to do operations. We got to figure this out. We could probably make something of this. So January we get together and make something happen. We get it started. We were kind of like late December talking, December 2025.
It was right at the end of December.
Right,
And then we said, well, let's wait to make the corporation stuff till January 1st. We don't have to pay taxes on the corporation for, 2025 and have a separate corporation tax in addition to whatever you had. So we made it January 1st. And so we got going. We didn't have an HVAC license. We only had electrical. And first month in revenue, you guys remember what it was? January?
100,000?
It was
I
190,000.
think it was 190,000. Yeah.
Second month in revenue was February. So second month, you guys did 500,000 in sales. You didn't have enough people.
We did 500,000. We only did 200,000.
Always twice our install, and then you were like, to us, that was normal because that's what the old company was like that. We are always sold twice as much as we can install, and you just book out further and further and further, and then you eventually
and all your jobs took 4 or 5 days. Yeah.
Yeah, it took a while. Yeah. Okay. All right.
And they're all residential jobs, by the way. Everything took 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, we took our time, and
took our time.
did a good job.
And you guys were proud of it, though. You're like, oh, we're booked a month out.
As we should be. Yeah.
I know. I thought that was great.
Yeah, it was
we were
good.
coming, it was
You
like,
never
we're booked
had
out
to
2 months now.
Because in our head we were thinking, no matter what, we want to take good care of our people, and we tell them like you're gonna have consistent work, and it really came from a place of like, if you're booked out a month, you never have to worry about like your guys are.
Not having
my
work.
bad. Your guys are not going to have work. And so it was always like, we just felt that, okay, you felt safe. Like a month of work has felt so safe.
Dude, I can tell you, there's nothing about entrepreneurship that's ever safe. And if you're feeling safe, you're probably not doing it right. I hope any entrepreneur that's listening to this is hearing that. But bottom line, that happens with contractors all the time. They always get excited. I see them posting on Facebook about how excited they are about how they're booked out a month, 2 months. I'm booked out 4 weeks at this point. We're killing it. Dude, you're not killing it. It means you couldn't forecast properly. You don't have the staff you need in order to get the stuff done. Your customer experience sucks because now they have to wait a month. By the way, a lot of these guys are doing air conditioning, so they're like taking out portable cooling units and put it in the houses and stuff because they can't get to the job for a month or whatever.
We did have a lot of those.
We did that.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
We'd always deliver the
heaters.
units. Or portable heaters in the
Portable heaters
winter
in
when we were
winter.
delivering them to houses.
Yeah, and it's like, guys, you need to figure out how to manage your capacity better, and you need to figure out how to hire people better, because then if you can do all that volume, guess what? Your close rate goes up, because if you can do the job, start the job that day or the next day, people are more willing to sign. Mm-hmm. And so we were talking about all this stuff. I'm like, dude, I'm not impressed with you guys being booked a month out. I mean, it's like something's wrong. Stop getting excited.
I remember
about
the text message. You're like, you said you guys are building a sales organization and not a company.
Yeah.
If I get one more text message, you guys closed another deal, and not that you hired an install manager, I'm gonna kill you guys. Like, that was the exact text message.
That
you
is,
sent
because we're so used to only celebrating because it's been like since we were like 21. That's all we do is sales. And we're like when it came to like HVAC or electrical, it's like, okay, we'll hire people that are good at doing the job and we'll sell the thing. But there was never like the thinking about the business part of like scaling up this part. It was like, oh, we got a couple of people to do the work. Now we'll sell out a month and a half, and then we're kind of good. Like,
well. I really did. I was like, I don't want to hear one more text about your freaking sales. I don't want to hear it. Like, I want you to like hire people, and I want to start building your company. Like, at one point, I told you guys to stop selling and just build your company.
You legit
told us.
that.
You told us.
You said I feel like I'm in a sales check. Like, use some bad words, but you're like, we're just jerking ourselves off about how much sales we have and not doing any of the installs. You're like, I'm tired of this.
Like, how much did you install though? How much did you install?
I can't confirm or deny what I said, but the words I used, but they weren't proper. And by the way, one of the reasons you guys are growing so fast is like, because I can be very blunt with you guys with all the things that I've learned over the past 20 years of like getting screwed up. Because I mean, I think it's easy to talk about our wins, but dude, the first 5 years in business, I sucked. I went from 1.6 million in revenue to 3 million in revenue, like in 5 years. Now, if I'm not at 3 million within the first 6 months to a year, I'm pissed. Like, it's not good. And but you guys take it really well. Like, you start laughing, and I'm like, okay. That just encourages me more to just lay it on even harder.
I always say, I was like, when we jump on a phone call with Tom, it's like, I'm just going to listen to Tom yell at Soepa for 10 minutes. And then we're laughing because it is funny. You say it in a funny way. You're like, what are you guys talking about?
Dude, I mean, how about the other day? I think the biggest turning point, too, is I think I had
Well,
I had the install manager. Oh yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Well, the point of that was you sold 500K, but you can only install 270.
Yes.
So that was
Which
February,
we were
270.
pumped on that.
Yep. We were pumped.
We were pumped. We're like, that's a 2-to-1 ratio. That is the ratio you're supposed to do. That's what everybody wants.
And 3-to-1 we thought was like, okay, and that's a little pushing it.
Yeah.
We should go hire one more team.
Yeah.
No.
So then that was your second month in business. Third month in business, you still sold like 500K, but you only even sold like 320. So you had a little bit more.
Yep.
You know.
That one was like a little bump, but it wasn't a ton because we were still.
Yeah,
Did
that
we
was
have our
March.
HVAC license?
I think
yet?
our
No, we
HVAC
didn't
yeah,
have it.
No, we did. We got our HVAC license
This is-
late February.
Yeah,
so start getting HVAC going. So now you got HVAC and electrical. And by the way, even to this day, you guys are like 50-50 HVAC and electrical.
Yeah,
growing.
because we did 200, and that's
What?
the first one we did 100 in HVAC and 200 and for that 300, I think it's 200 in electrical.
You're talking about
Yeah.
February?
No,
March.
March. Yep.
Yeah, so you're through 320. The next month, though, that's when you got the volume because you started getting the installers.
Yep.
You got an install manager, like I freaking talked to you guys about. Which
You tried to talk us out of it, actually.
Yeah.
We were like, we need an install manager.
You're so full. Like, I'm looking at you like, whoa. You're changing
Revisionist
history.
history.
Yeah.
No,
the
we were
install-
fighting against it because we thought in our heads too. We also thought that you could run the business, do all of the sales, and then also
All the
as long as
marketing.
you all the marketing,
my
and then
gosh.
if
All
you
the
hire,
ordering.
as long as you hire the people that can do the work, you can also manage the installs. Like you already sold the job, so you already know it, so you didn't just tell them what to do, and like
And schedule the job.
and schedule the job.
And the permits, everything. No.
Oh yeah, no, we hired an admin, so we had an admin.
Well, I think here's the funny part. So you guys told me that, right? And you're running yourselves in the ground.
Oh yeah.
I think
we're
a lot
going-
of times, like an
it was
investor,
crazy.
in this case, I'm an investor. At this point, I've invested $250,000 to get this thing
Gone.
off the ground, right? And we'll get to what that turned out to in a minute and what happened in April and what happened in May. By the way, we're recording this podcast the first week of June 2026, so we only know our numbers up through the end of May at this point.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Soepa's running himself in the ground. Andrei's running himself in the ground. And at that point, you were terrified. I had invested 250 grand, and you had 250 grand in the bank still.
Yeah.
So you were cash flow positive, right?
Yes.
And I remember yelling at you guys, like, what are you doing? This is like me giving you a Ferrari, and you're like, no, I want to ride my bicycle. Like, I'm just going to leave the keys in the car. I'm like, dude, I give you 250 grand. Use the 250 grand. Like, go hire an install manager, hire a freaking CSR, hire a
have this
salesperson,
call
hire whatever.
recorded. Yeah.
The salesperson, by the way, we'll get to the salesperson in a minute. That was the last person you wanted to hire. Like,
Yeah, wait,
you did not want to give up sales.
Well, me and Andrei, when you called us and told us that, I think we were so excited to tell you. They were like, Tom gave us first. I think you put 150,000 in. Right? And we're like, Tom gives
no,
us
I
100.
put 100,000 in.
100,000 in first. Yeah, he put
then 150
100,000 in
later.
just to get us going, and that money was used specifically meant to be used to hire people just to get going. Not, and me and Andrei were like, we're gonna show Tom we don't need to spend any of his money. That's exactly what
the
we
reality
thought.
is
We were
we're
just
actually
what-
cheap.
We're,
That's
we're
actually
cheap
why.
people, and
We're
we
cheap.
wanted to always just be like, like bootstrap, right? That's what we're known.
We've done bootstrap for so long.
So we didn't wanna call
that,
Tom
like
and be
when
like,
the
we
money
need
was
more
in the
money.
bank, we're like, we're not touching this money.
Yeah, we're not touching this money.
Well,
we're gonna show that we can do
So
it.
I
me and
remember
Andrei
someone
was
called
like,
me.
we made money.
We're like, I guess what, Tom?
Yeah, we're like, we made $50,000 and we didn't even need your money. And he's like, all right, is Andrei still running calls and project managing and doing that on the electrical? And we're like, yeah. He's like, you idiot. He's like, I gave you this money so that you could go fast. He's like, I'm not so that you could tell me you made $50,000. And that's what you basically told us. Like, you got the car race thing that you said. It was hilarious.
I was like, dude, I gave you Ferrari. Drive. And you're
You're
told
sitting
you, I was
there,
like,
you're gonna win a
You're
bicycle,
trying
so
to
you
brag
said.
to me about how fast you can ride your bicycle. Like, I don't care about how fast you can ride your bicycle. I don't care if you're running the Tour de France and you're number one. You have a Ferrari. Use it. It is sitting in the garage. I was like, oh man, I was losing it. And the reality is, I know also, and this is the part that I don't tell you guys on the phone because I don't want to give you the softer side, but the softer side is like, you will like exhaust yourselves and the company will fail. Like you'll be exhausted and then your growth rate will slow way down. And I know it's going to happen. I'm like, you have to get there. But like, I can joke with you guys and tell you like the real stuff, hard stuff, and you'll take it and move. So yeah, so you're not hiring people at this point, even though I gave you the money so you could do that. And then, and you're like, oh, well, we might need, that's what happened. I had 100,000 in.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're like, well, Tom, if you want to do that, we're scared. We might need an extra 100,000.
No.
And
That's not what happened though.
Yeah, go ahead.
We kept going, and me and Andrei. I think it was this is the third month now, and me and Andrei were looking at our cash flow because now our increased revenue, but we weren't. knob and tube jobs. Sometimes we don't collect the money for the week after. Some are HVAC jobs. They have financings where we collect the money after. So we're looking at our cash flow and we're like, oh my God, we owe, we're going to owe these things. Our payroll is going to come due. So I'm scared to hire the next team or the install manager, things like that. And that's when we told you, and you were like, I'm going to give you $150,000 so that you guys aren't scared to go hire people and use my money so you can actually grow.
Yeah. Well, you said I'll need $100,000. I said, I'll give you 150 right now. And you're like, really? And I said, yeah, I'll put 150K into it. And so I put another 150K into it. And then what happened the next month? You guys had freaking $250,000 in the bank.
Yeah.
And so you still didn't use them. You tried at this point. You hired people.
We were trying to spend the money.
We were trying to spend the money at that point, but it's not that fast and easy to just immediately go hire people within the first week and sell.
Well, we were also, because we're so used to really slowly hiring that like hiring quickly, you realize that you hire and then you have to fire right away. Cause it's like you hire them, you do a good interview, they show up good. And then 3 weeks later, like they're late every day. And you're like, oh, okay, well now I had to hire somebody new. And like your turnover rate, when you start turning up the faucet of new hires, like you get people in that you're like, oh, this person actually isn't good. And then you have to get rid of them. And it's like, that we weren't used to that. So we were like in this weird phase of like, we were used to like taking a month and a half to hire somebody.
Before we used to taking a month and a half to make one decision.
Yeah, exactly. Everything was slow.
Yeah. And I mean, to be fair to the listeners on here, if you haven't done it before, it's really hard to make these things. So I feel for those people that I'm telling them like, hey, do this and trust me, because they haven't done it before. So they don't have that trust. They don't have that faith in the system, that faith in the process. And so it's scary. Yeah. And they're like, no, I can't do that.
I mean, I think that's one of the best things that partnering with you right now is that me and Andrei don't know what it, like, the next step we're afraid to make, whereas you just tell us, like, just do this and it works, because you've done it before, versus you have kind of process analysis when you're thinking, like, is this one, hiring the install manager is the best example. I was, like, scared to hire an install manager. The next month we, did $450,000 after his full month of coming, right? In HVAC, and we had 5 teams, so like it was clear.
Because that was the big change.
Let's get to April. So April, you guys you cleared over $700,000 in revenue in your 4th month in business. Really operating. Yeah. Yep. So that was April. You cleared so you jumped from the 320K up to 700 something thousand in month for that month, and then last month, which was May. You cleared 894,000.
96.
It would have been 900 if Andrei didn't have a job.
Hey, it was PG&E. It rained, and I had a $12,000 panel that got moved to the next month. That's not my fault.
If I would have known, we would have figured out how to do 900 that month.
But that's the thing, is like you guys gotten faster at hiring because now you kind of realize like you felt it, like, okay, I've done it.
Yep.
Your faith has grown a little bit in the process.
I think that one big thing that happened too is that we realized that like you have more faith in yourself. So you're like, okay, if we scale up, we're going to be able to sell enough to keep everybody busy. And like you can hire more and you don't have to be scared. Like you build that confidence. But then the other thing is you trade the security of a month being sold out, a month or a month and a half or whatever, for the customer experience is so much better when you're like, okay, I'll do it on Monday. And they're like, oh my God, I'll do it like a Monday, instead of, hey, I'll do it in 3 weeks. Because when you're selling so far out, you you feel good, but your technicians don't actually know how far sold out. They just know that like the next day I've worked, the next day I've worked, the next day I've worked. So as long as you keep that going, the customer's way happier when you bring it closer. And like we've noticed that on both sides. So it allows you to sell way better. So it actually, in a funny way, it's like we stopped focusing on selling. As we still thought about selling all day, but like because we were scaling that up, it actually made it easier to sell, because you could be like, okay, do you want us to do this tomorrow? Yeah. And so it did help us sell in a funny way, like getting out of that comfort zone.
Yeah.
It also has more urgency, I think, for the sales process when you're walking in.
Yes.
When you know that you're sold out a month or 2 months, even as like when I was doing the sales, I'm like, I'm sold out a month and a half. Like I'm not trying to fight for this next sit, or I'm walking home, I feel comfortable. And then what happens is then your 2 weeks are, you start to get 2 weeks booked out, then you're urgently doing it. So if you're constantly on that urgency, it's like, oh, I'm only 1 week booked out or whatever, then it helps too. So I think that not only it basically puts you in a better mental state as a company, that you have kind of like a little bit of an appropriate fear.
Yeah.
Right. Versus, hey, it's like you're running really hard and like I'm booked out. When I was at the other company, we were 2 months booked out. I'm like, I can't sell for 2 months. I don't even know what I'm going to do, So you're doing the sales process, but if you're only booked out, 2 weeks or a week or whatever, and in the case like your company, it's next day, you know that you have to sell that day, right? So
I want you guys to be ready to do next day, but
I don't know if we can mentally handle that right now.
You're okay getting down to a week or 2 weeks at this point, so it's like, but you're still 2 weeks booked out.
Yeah, and almost 3 now. We just got for HVAC. Hey,
we're 2.5 on electrical.
Nah, that makes me want to throw up. But to me, it's money sitting on the table. That's
because the money could be in your. What Tom's telling us is that money would be in your pocket right now.
Well, you'd be making more money too, because like you said, you're going out on the next call like, man, I got to crush on this one. I got to crush on this one. And the reality is, even with what you guys are doing with the marketing, you could turn up your marketing right now, and have more leads. So that's the piece of this that everyone's thinking about. I can promise you, people listening to this podcast right now are going, okay,
these two idiots
but how are they getting all these leads? And how are these two idiots doing? And how much are they spending on marketing? Because keep in mind, this is a greenfield deal. We didn't buy a company up in San Jose, where you guys are, or Berkeley or anything else. Because by the way, most of this is sold in San Jose, California, Berkeley, California.
Yep, and Oakland and
and so almost all their leads, they've really dialed in. They figured out the marketing side.
Yep.
So most of your leads are coming from a couple sources, right? What are your sources?
Google LSA, Facebook, and then we cross sell a lot, between each other, and then and referrals. Those are the 3 things, but that's it. Yeah.
So let's talk about that. So Google LSA for those first few months.
Don't talk about that. They're going to be like, Google LSA, they're going to be like, that wasn't even being used then.
No, we're not cutting this.
Cut this part out. Cut this part out. We don't need to talk about
budget. No, the truth was that I remember because we were talking to Bailey, and Bailey's like, I don't understand why you guys have budget on Google LSA, but you guys, it never goes. Like Google will not spend your money, and we don't know why. And we were like, that's weird. And then we were like, well, we're getting these Facebook leads, we're getting Instagram leads, and our brand actually, I think we got lucky. We got lucky with the brand that we came up with fit the Mr. Poppy brand was just like catchy and like it resonated well in our market. And so that was good. And the brand, like the vans are bright orange, and there was little things that like I could tell compared to our last company that this just like hit a little harder. So there was the branding side that was good because we focused on that. But then
I think there's a key piece in that. If you're starting your company, don't go out there with a white van. With a freaking simple logo on the side like everyone else. You're basically advertising for the entire air conditioning or plumbing or electrical or garage door industry, whatever you're in, roofing. It's like, oh, okay, that's definitely a tradesman. You guys right away went and made a decent brand. I don't agree with how you did it, but like
it's decent.
It was Soepa, the cheapest guy on the planet, is going and freaking chat GPTing a brand that he's throwing up there. And even now you're like, dude, I gotta have the brand redone. Like we gotta get the structure done.
You did say that was gonna happen too. You were like, you guys are gonna do this. It's like I remember because we were reading the Dan Antonelli book. That's what really happened.
We read the kick chart.
We read the kick chart book.
Branded, not blanded.
Branded, not blanded. Yeah. We read it and we're like, okay, we got to do this. But then what really happened was
bootstrap. We were trying to bootstrap
it. We did a little chat GPT and we did a little some.
We got like 70% of the result for free.
Yeah. Soepa likes to call it same effect, but we did
not same, but
not same, but it's close enough. But then I remember you did, and it's so funny because you said this too. You were like, okay, you guys are going to do this. In like 5-6 months, you're going to be hiring somebody to redo this whole brand. And we were like, no, dude, this brand is hot. Believe me, it looks good. And I knew the brand was good because I'll tell you the thing that never happened at our old company, but happened at this new company is when we only had 2 vans. Like I'm talking right at the start, people would say, I see your vans everywhere. And I was like, that's not possible. There's 2 of them. Like, how do you see them everywhere? Because our competitors have like 15, 20 vans. I was like, you see our van everywhere, but it was just because it's like stuck out. And so
it's wrapped in orange.
It is bright orange.
Yeah.
So I think that's definitely, if I was starting a company from scratch, everyone out there, I would definitely.
You had to start brand first.
Brand first is what I would do.
So brand helped, but the Google thing.
So I can tell you how we found. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Tell the story. Go ahead.
But what month is this that you find out?
This is like 3 weeks ago, right? Or 2 weeks ago.
So literally, we're literally in May. So this is their 5th month of business.
And
right?
we sold like $1 million the last couple of months and did $896,000. And we found out
in May,
I'm looking at my phone and someone messages on social media. A customer messages me. And they're like, oh, hey, I want some knob and tube work or electrical work in my house. And I'm like, oh, perfect. And I don't have our phone number memorized. So I was like, oh, wonderful. Here, call this number and schedule an appointment. So I go to our Google, I copy that number on our Google page, and I message it to him. And he messages back to me. He's like 5 minutes later, like, hey, are you sure this number's right? And I'm like, what? It has to be.
It's our Google number.
I clicked and called that number. It's a wrong number.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding. We had it off by one number.
You guys did all those results and had the wrong number on your Google account for freaking 5 months.
Honestly, and I will say this.
You literally got no calls from Google guaranteed.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to blame the customer, but I blame the customer because when they called us and it didn't go through, they should have sent us a kind email and let us know.
At month one. At month one. I'm just kidding.
I'm kidding. No. But the thing I would say, like, if it was an actual lesson, you should just don't. It sounds so dumb, but you should check. It is insane that we were in May. And we were selling $1 million a month still. Like we weren't installing $1 million a month, but we were selling $1 million a month, and we didn't have a Google phone number. And it's so simple that we were off. We had a 0 instead of a 1 or 1 instead of a 0 or whatever. It's so simple that you would never check it. But even I think that's. Well, I'm giving you acid reflux, huh?
Yeah, dude. I can't. I'm dying here.
Anyway.
No, they called me. So I was like, "You're never gonna believe this." Good news and bad news. The bad news is our phone number's way off. The good news is, dude, we sold this much without Google. Like, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
And then we started turning Google LSA on now. And the next week we had like 5 calls a day. And we're like, Tom, we got a whole nother lead source.
Google, you heard of it?
Google.
It's this new place.
Yeah,
oh my
like,
gosh.
I didn't even know what Google LSA was. Anyways, that was hilarious.
Oh, man. So they did this. And by the way, and the next thing people are going to ask is like, okay, so you grew that fast. You got up to 890,000. So almost 900,000 a month in installed per month in your 5th month in business.
Yep.
And they're going to want to know a couple things. One is, what are you spending on marketing percentage-wise?
Well,
I know these.
You know these, but we increased it, but the month that we
April was 30 and May was 60,000.
Yeah.
So
So let's do those numbers real quick. You spent $30,000 in the month of April.
And we sold $1 million.
Sold $1 million, installed 700,000.
Yeah, so you're at like 8-9% cost of marketing as from the install perspective. But you really would have sold. It would have been.
Sold $1 million. So to me, it's like.
Yeah. No. Sorry. No. You had 30,000 in April, right?
30,000 what we spent in April. May we
okay, so 30,000.
Yep.
Divided by 700,000 installed, you're like 4%.
Yeah.
Cost of marketing. Is that right? Just do the math real quick. 30,000 divided by 700,000 of revenue.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So and then in May, you spent 60,000.
We were because we were like, oh, we're gonna try more stuff now because we were like because we were looking at it like, dude,
so you were 4%. Was 60,000 divided by 890,000.
Man, we should be able.
Gives
to
you
do
a
this,
number.
Man.
What's
6%, 6.7%.
6. Yeah. And you would have had a little bit more because you could have installed like $1 million.
Yep.
So you're looking at between 4 and 6% cost of marketing per month.
Yep.
And you've never really been more than that because I've checked it every month.
Yeah.
So I mean that, guys, is incredible. And none of my companies right now, dude. Lee's has been in business for years, and we're very established and have a great brand, and we're not able to pull off 4% cost of marketing with a decent growth rate. Lee's has a 44% growth rate right now. They're spending about 7-8% annualized in their cost of marketing.
Yeah.
And they're they'll do about, with our acquisition that we just did, it'll be about $150 million in revenue this year. You guys are greenfielding, which normally when you greenfield, and people are listening, if I'm going and greenfielding a location, I'm planning on spending 20%, 25% on marketing up front just to like get going and like get some calls coming in, that kind of stuff. You guys are killing it with, Google LSA and Google Ads and Facebook and Instagram and whatever you've got to do, and then doing some random posts and then getting referrals and hustling just like crazy trying to get people to send leads to you.
and I'm not actually, I don't know about Lee's or other companies, but sometimes I feel like when you are the owner and you're like more sales driven like us, like every lead that comes in, like if we have 5 leads like that week in the beginning, we'd be like 5 leads is great. Like we would think that's great. And we're going to basically be like, we're going to close all 5 customers, like whatever it takes, how we walk into the home. And like, if a lead comes in, I'll call that person as many times just to get book the appointment. So I think that it's like the level of hustle that we had to make sure that if we had 5 leads, we're going to get on 5 appointments. If 5 people are come, I'm going to go into 5 homes and we're going to sell them, right? Like that's the mentality that we had the whole time, and we never even focused on the other side of the business in terms of like installing or anything. It was like a lead came in, and I think that's part of the sales that me and Andrei is like this level of urgency that like some people tell me like, oh, we have 100 leads or thousands. I'm like, bro, you have 1,000 leads. How is that possible in these bigger companies where we get, now our leads are up to, but like before, if we had 5 leads, we were like, this is amazing. We're about to somehow sell.
I think that a couple of things on that, like, because the leads are real. That's the first thing. We're not like, we were getting, especially when it was Google LSA and when it came from Facebook, they have looked at our company and they're calling us. We're not bidding a job that like, we're not talking to a customer like 5 people bought the same lead. It wasn't that situation. Because it was coming to us, they already knew us, that those were 5 actual opportunities for us to sell. Because they're like, oh, they clicked on the name Mr. Puppy, or they watched a Facebook ad and they're like, I like this guy. And like when we'd show up, I think that
How come your voice goes high pitched when you say I like this guy?
I like this guy. That's my customer voice. I like this guy. No, but that's what customers say. Customers do. The other thing too is I would say that I've had other business owners message me on Instagram and stuff like that, and they're like, "Oh, it's cool that you do your own Instagram ads." I would never get in front of the camera, and I think that was one thing that worked really well for us is that we had no shame, and so we were like, I don't care, I'll be in every ad, and I'll just film it when we'll just copy the exact. Don't do that. Oh, sorry. I'll copy the exact. No, the noise will pick up on the microphone, but I'll do that exact template. Like we'll copy other people's ads. We'll do anything, and then it helps so much when you're very first starting because people don't have faith in your brand. They like your brand, but they don't have faith in your company yet because you have like 7 reviews or 9 reviews. But when you're the guy in the ad and you show up to their house and like they went from our speed to lead was always good. Yeah. So like that night they were doom scrolling. They stopped at an ad and then it's me popping out of a call space going, hey, Oakland homeowners. and then the next morning I'm at their house. I'm like, hi, nice to meet you. And they're like, oh, you're the guy from the ad. That happened every single time people would say, you're the guy from the ad. And then they just trust you because you're like, I've seen you in 2 places. And they like, it's not a random dude showing up. And so that helped a lot.
Yeah. Too. And I think that like, well, with the social media ads, and we're telling people how to do this, but I think that you only have a second to get someone's attention. And when you get their attention, every part of the film to me needs to look good. And you need them to like you in 1 second on social media. The moment they see you for 1 second on that video, they're like, I like these people. And then we walk into the home and they're like, I saw your ad. I remember I went to multiple sets and they're like, I told my this lady like 2 times is like, I told my friends I'm gonna go with this company because I just love their branding and their marketing. Before I walked into the house, we had 7 reviews. Well, like, so I think that if you do the social media, you have to like really focus on how you're showing to the customers, and if you're being really liked, like you have 3 seconds to get someone to like you.
So let's talk about a couple of things that people screw up on social media advertising.
Yeah.
One, you already mentioned speed to lead.
Yeah.
Andrei. So I can't tell you how many contractors I've heard, because first of all, my Texas operation that is owned by Lee's is killing it right now, and they're doing almost all social media advertising. And I've got 5 locations there that's overseen by them. Most of them are in Texas. It's Dallas, Houston, Austin, San Antonio. And then we have Oklahoma City. They just opened a few months ago. And they're crushing it, but they're big on speed to lead as well. And when I talk to contractors, I can't tell you, most of them coming up, I'm like, how fast are you getting back to your leads? Oh, we get back to everyone really fast. We call them same day. And it's like, oh my gosh. Like, and the thing is back in the day, 20 years ago, if getting back to them in the same day was a big deal. Now you guys are literally like shaking your heads like, oh my gosh, and rolling your eyes as soon as we say same day. Like how fast do you expect to get back to that lead in order to make sure you're close to that?
30 seconds.
Less than 30.
Yeah, they have to feel like they clicked in their phone rings. Like it should be like beep, beep. Like it should be.
And if they don't pick up, then you call them again.
It's like when you buy.
Leave 1 voicemail, call them again. And so don't leave the voicemail the first call. Call them. Second call, leave the voicemail immediately afterwards. Second call.
Your area code matters a lot.
Yep.
So what we have for my phone number, my personal number where I'd call, well, it's my only cell phone number. I'd call leads sometimes before we got our call center set up, and I was calling from a San Jose number they wouldn't pick up if it's a Berkeley lead. So you have to use the VoIP app to call from 510. Because if they see 408, it's a scammer or something. But even if they just clicked it, they don't realize that that's going to be me calling. But if you call from their area code, then they'll pick up.
So you have to make sure the numbers match.
But I'd say that this is big from the car business, because the car business, I think, is probably the best one of the best places to get sales training, because you sell an identical product to every competitor. Like your Audi A4 is the exact car that everybody else has. There's no differentiation whatsoever. You just had to be a better salesperson or more likable. Whereas like in home services, like we do a better job, our warranty's better, our price is better.
You're selling the
like,
same equipment.
Car business, you've got price, inventory, speed to lead. That's kind of it. Whereas
by the way, your inventory is how fast you can install it. Home service industry.
We
and
just
you morons for booking yourselves a month out.
Sell what you see.
So, speed to lead is a big deal. So on social media, if you're getting ads coming in and you're responding to them 3, 4, 5 hours later, 6 hours later, a day later, that's a dead lead.
Yep.
Like you need to be calling them back before they put their phone back in their pocket, or else you're done.
Yep.
My Texas guys, they literally have a thing. If any of those calls go out past 90 seconds, they're flipping out. They're irate. Like why aren't you getting back to us? Yep. Or why aren't we getting back to the customer right away? So speed to lead is a big thing in social media. Second thing, I'm saying like they're trying to run organic things, and they're taking pictures of their installs and putting them on social media. Like nobody cares about how your air conditioner looks or how your pipes look or your freaking.
They don't know.
And also,
electrical.
And also, I think there's that part. I think there's a creativity part of the ad, so that you see the owner, make sure they like you. But I think the other part is the call center. A lot of people have call centers, and they're inbound call center people, basically, where they're used to working at a company where me and Andrei were SDR reps before, and if you had inbound leads versus outbound leads.
So SDR, by the way, is sales development representative.
Yeah, sorry,
at
a tech company.
So you're basically doing outbound calling and trying to get some sales
to book
leads
a demo. Exactly. And so I think the Facebook leads are not true. It's an outbound cadence. It's not true outbound. The leads coming in, but it's not, hey, someone calls you and you're just picking up the phone and be like, oh, is your air conditioning broken? Yes, let me send someone out. Okay, perfect. Now that SDR person gets paid for that appointment, versus this one is, hey, they're not picking up the phone. You got to call them 10 times to get them on the phone one time. And they saw an ad, they kind of liked it, they clicked it. So now convincing them that we're the person to come out to book an appointment, right? So there's no urgency there. So I think the call center needs, the people that are running the call center need to be trained well to understand that it's not an inbound lead. So you need to really make sure that you manage that part. It's a way different lead.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a captive. I think it is an inbound lead, but it's not a captive customer.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't own him.
Yes,
like
yes.
they're giving you the shot, but it's just like, it's like if a girl looks at you in a bar, it's like, okay, you got to take that right now, because if they go and meet somebody else, it's done. Like you're too late, buddy. Like somebody else bought a drink. You know, like
exactly.
But you have 1 second, like, okay, I smile back, like let's go. You know, like it has to be that moment. And I think that was one thing that like Soepa. Well, I'll give you all the credit. Like Soepa was so obsessed with our call center that he was legit.
I spent the first month.
He was fully like, and I think you kind of have to do this. Is like fully micromanaging. Like I'm saying, like to the like, it's been 30 seconds. Why has nobody called this? Like if you're not willing to do that, your competitors will. And like I do, and I think
especially nowadays, like it's changing.
Yeah.
All these contractors I hear, oh man, the economy, it's not there, blah blah. Dude,
someone's getting it to it first.
Tons of companies. I just looked at my thread with the home service group, which is Tommy Mello, Aaron Gaynor, Chad Peterman, Chris Hoffman, all those guys. They're all growing. 15. Well, no, I think the lowest growth was 22% this year. And I'm hearing a bunch of contractors talk about the economy, and it is. I've got at least 2 locations that are kind of subpar. I've got 2 locations that are really dying. They're not doing well. And then I got 5 or 6 locations that are crushing it. And if I look at the ones that are crushing it versus the ones that are not, the ones that are not focusing as hard on speed to lead. They're not pushing new methods. They're not hopping and using AI for making their ads or responding to things and that kind of stuff. They're not adopting all these things. I've even got ones that are like, they're going, oh man, we're using, for instance, they want to say they use AI, but they're not. And they're going out there and they're like, oh, well, we implemented phone answering in our call center using AI. The ones that are using AI really well on phone answering, they have less CSRs per dollar revenue.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that are not, they're paying for the AI, and then they're turning around and hiring more CSRs because they're afraid that the AI is not going to work. And I think now, if you aren't changing with the new times, if you're not realizing that like the way that we used to do business is not working, you're going to fall behind. The crazy thing about you two is you don't know what the old way of doing business is. So when you go in there, like there's nothing telling you like, oh, we shouldn't, we got an online ad coming in, and I'm sitting in my Service Titan account and I get a lead come in and it's sitting there, and I have a CSR that responds to it 4 hours later from an online ad. It's like, it's not going to work. It's not. You're going to die.
Yep.
And quite frankly, guys like you are pulling off because you're living in the Bay Area. The Bay Area is not growing at that rate where all of a sudden there's tons of extra work going around. You're doing it because it must be coming out of the market. Like someone else was servicing those customers before, and now you are instead.
Yeah.
It's insane. Let's talk about hiring salespeople, because you guys, oh my gosh, you just talked about how you were in the ad and then you sent the same salesperson. I think the last person you wanted to hire was the salesperson.
Sales guy.
Yeah.
It was so hard for me to hire a salesperson.
It's harder for you than for me.
Yeah.
For me, I was like, I think what happened also at our last company is that I had a lot of ideas that were wrong, and I kind of had my foot in the mouth like a bunch of times, and so I kind of actually like I think that I'm naturally overly confident, and just because like from the way I grew up and everything like that, and so I kind of got cut down a peg on the last company, but in a good way that I was way more open to like, I'm not the guy. Like I was kind of like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be the best I can, but I have no confidence that I'm better than somebody else at the same role. And whereas I think that at our last company, there were so many times that someone was like, I think we should do this. And me and the other owner were like, nah, let's not do that. And like, we kind of like kiboshed so many of his ideas that now when we started the new company, I said, no, I swear. I went to Soepa and I was like, so you're the big picture guy. I swear I'll just do what you say, because I got to make a lot of decisions last time and it weren't good. So I'm just gonna like I know that I can be a good executor. Like I could do what you think is a good idea, but I just was like, all right, so but this is fine. But conversely, that hurt you because now you had the company, you're like, all right, these are my ideas, and then our company was growing so fast. You're like, I guess my ideas are hitting, like, and which was deserved. But then when it came to sales, I remember you told me, you're like, well, if I hire a sales guy, he's not gonna be as good as me. And that was your true belief, but then
Yeah,
no, you're right.
Tell what happened.
Well, I hired Andre already hired, Tom told us to get a salesperson. Andre hired a salesperson like 3 months ago. I hired a salesperson last week for the first time. Okay, and I've been selling the whole time.
Pause for a second. Soepa made me I had to come over and sell. I sold.
Andre sold I had Andre doing HVAC. Andre sold 170,000. I mean, the jobs were terrible, but
Soepa was like, all these jobs suck. Not enough photos. You sold it for way too cheap. And I was like, I'm not supposed to be here. You're supposed to have hired a salesperson. Why am I doing this?
So we had that moment. Andre's like, you need to hire a salesperson. I saw the leads coming in. I was like, you're right. I mean, but keep in mind, like HVAC started in February we did 100, and then immediately we did like 400 and 450. So it was like it's hard to like do that, hire
on the
installers
side,
and hire a salesperson.
Yeah,
I was just like trying to make sure everybody was like
but
aligned.
you still, every time we talked about it, you're like, dude, they're not gonna be as good as me,
Yeah, no, it's
I'm
true.
the owner,
It's true.
blah, blah.
Yeah, no, it's completely true, and it was flawed because what happened is that as I got busier, my sits weren't getting as good because I'm taking phone calls from people in the middle of a sit. I'm driving. I'm super tired. I'm showing up. I don't have as much energy, and we got a salesperson.
Also, you're not paid on commission.
I'm not
like
paying
just
a
being
commission.
real.
Yeah, I'm only trying to fill the job.
You
You're an
want the
owner.
company to grow,
Yeah.
which is a good feeling, but it's not as direct as like a salesperson who's getting a percentage. It's like, I want that money. Like,
Exactly.
now.
Now, exactly. So I hired a salesperson from another HVAC company, and a good company that's, and he was trained well, but just I don't know why. Like they didn't have leads. He's like, dude, I have no leads. I was the number one salesperson there right now. So I hired him, and he, the first day he closed a mini split. Then the next day he closed like a $30,000 job. Then the next, I think the first
he
week
sold
109,000 in 5 days, and I was like, oh my god. And his
He
sister,
didn't
he's
have,
calling
he
me.
didn't have
I'm
service
like,
until Tuesday.
He didn't have
on
service-
Monday. He was like, "Hey, can you build this? Like, I don't have my login yet." And he was
But the thing was, like, I wasn't even like what I realized is that I wasn't even doing the good sits because I wasn't fully going in the attic and checking every single duct and like bringing value. And he says he's there for 3 hours. He's like, hey, I've started my sit, and I was like, call me if you need any help or like just if you want to discount pricing or just because I marked it up higher for him and just see if there's anything I can do to help close the deal. And I saw when this started, I'm like, oh, he must have left. He called me 3 hours later. He's like, hey, Soepa, now we're sitting on the table. I'm like, you've been there for 3 hours? I mean, that's what you're supposed to be doing. But he was there, and he's like, yeah, so the last guy that came in didn't check this duct, didn't see that this duct was crushed. This boot, he has like 3 boots have a like that detailed, right? And he went down, and the customer was like, yeah, no one else told me all this. And I was like,
he did his job, basically.
He did his job, which is supposed to. I wasn't doing my job, basically. And so,
but no one's better than me. I can't hire anyone because no one's better
this guy
than me.
just literally did what's on the bullet points on his job offer.
From every single other company.
He's a phenom. No, he's yeah.
Anyway, so he's great, and he closed at $109,000 at a higher ticket price than me and Andrei were selling for. I mean, Andrei's the giveaway king.
Do you know what his average ticket is? Can you? Share
I'd say 18,000 for us. 18. It was like 18,000. He closed a $33,000 job.
He's for HVAC replacements.
HVAC replacements, yeah.
Well, but he had mini splits in there.
And he had some mini splits. He had two single mini splits, but I think he had a couple of two $30,000 jobs and $18,000 jobs, and then one $9,000 job.
You can tell when a salesperson is good. I think that this is one thing too. I think, a big takeaway from this company versus last company is we felt, because we hired so young on the last company, we were like, we're going to hire really young people and train them, which was like, we're going to have really young people. You felt a certain amount of almost like their parent a little bit, and you felt so scared to get rid of. You're like, I didn't fire a single person in 4 years at the last company. Never did it, because I was like, I'm like their parent. Like, this is how they pay their rent. Like, I was so, and I would let underperformers, I was just like, well, those are the underperformers and these are the high performers. And I was just okay with it.
What it is, yeah.
And that I was just like, yeah, but they're under my wing now. Whereas at the new company, I think that we're just like, wait, no, I think it was Hormozy or somebody put up this thing. It's like, these are the employees that you have at 200,000. These are the employees you have at 2 million. These are the employees and they're different people. Like, the people either step up and they get better, and I think that with the sales guy, when he started, Soepa was like, oh, and then he started, and the first day he's calling me, he's like talking to me about the electrical run, figuring it out, then also trying to sell a car charger, and he's like, hey, can we do this? Oh, he wants an induction stove. Can we bundle it? Like, what kind of price can I offer? I was like, well, this guy's a true hustler, and I could know within 24 hours of hiring him. And if he hadn't been that guy, we would have just found somebody else. But he is that guy. You know what I mean? And I think that fixes, when you allow yourself to say, I'm not these employees' parents. Like, we have a mutually beneficial relationship. And this sounds weird.
Working relationship.
Maybe not everybody feels like this.
Pay them cash.
But on the first company,
pay them a check. I should say cash.
No
one's paid under the table.
No. There we have a lot of payroll, but but a lot. But I think at the first company, it was a very easy trap to fall into, to feel like you are their steward, and it's not. And they almost thought it was I could tell they're like, oh, we take such good care of our people, which is amazing, but we also wouldn't even force them to grow. We would just let them be bad and just hire somebody better.
There wasn't as much accountability.
There was, that's the word I'm looking for.
And at the end of the day, I think Elon talks about it too, is the growth of the company is first the most important thing. So we have a company that everyone can show up and work and make money and pay the bills and pay for a family or whatever. Right? So I think that if even us as an owner, if we're not doing a good job, we need to be called out for it, because the company is the most important thing. It's not about
So let's just get to the brass tacks here. So you guys are talking about, you mentioned a lot of payroll. So what everyone really wants to know at the bottom line is that, okay, we're making money because we let it out of the bag that, hey, we actually still have the $250K in the bank, and you have more than that now in the bank, and that's all I invested to get it going. So you don't have the numbers for May yet, because May just closed, but we did $890,000 of revenue.
Yep.
$896. But net profit wise, EBITDA wise, now keep in mind it would have been higher if you could finish all the jobs you had sold, but you hadn't hired enough people on time. Someone probably told you to do that sooner. But anyway, but you were being cool and not spending the money. So what was your profit in the month of April?
What was it, Andrei? What was it?
It was 15 or 16.
15 or 16%, I think. But I think it was 170 or 180.
Yeah.
It was 180,000.
It was 174, I think.
So
I'm giving you guys these numbers, by the way, as investor, I really wish you would know your numbers all the time off the top of your head. But no, you're looking over $170,000 in net profit on $700,000 of revenue. So that's not going to be 15% if you look at it. Now, keep in mind, you guys are paying yourselves $20K a month each.
Yeah, and we were doing the sales.
if you're paying yourself more money than that, it would have been lower. So for the listeners out there, going that fast, usually you trade growth for EBITDA. If you look at, it was 24%, brother. If you're 170K on,
but then if we paid ourselves,
realistically, you would have paid yourself more.
If we were
April
paying
had
ourselves,
less. Okay, I remember though.
April,
because the April was like.
So we did an 890. So the 890. So it was that. But if we had a salesperson paying, if we had a salesperson, like we took 20,000 a month, and we paid a salesperson, right? It's gonna be closer to do the sales commission, because there's no sales commission. Me and Andrei were doing all the sales. So then, and if we took 20,
about 15%.
that's where it came out to exactly.
Yeah. So 24% is awesome, but if you really were running a stable company, which is what people need to think about, because a lot of people have smaller businesses. They're like, oh man, I'm paying myself $100,000 a year, and it's a $5 million a year company. Like that's not real.
Yeah, it's like because you're not gonna be able to do it forever.
Yeah.
So you guys were probably 170K. It would have been about 15% profit, which is freaking still amazing, by the way, for a company that's growing fast. Honestly, if you guys had no profit right now, we're growing that fast, going from $0 to $700,000 a month in revenue, and then 890 in the next month. 896 in 5 months. That's incredible. And usually you're trading growth rates for profitability, because if you grow faster, you usually fumble the football a lot more, because it's like, oh, we didn't know we had that problem, we didn't know this problem. You guys are doing incredible. So thanks for coming on the podcast. Really appreciate it.
Well, you forgot one part though.
What?
We don't have a warehouse yet. We're doing all this out of our house.
Well, if you look on Google, the address for the business is my house.
It's Andrei's house still.
Don't advertise that, because they're going to look at it.
Well, we won't say this.
We'll switch it.
We'll switch it. We're getting a warehouse right now. We already signed it. We got a huge warehouse coming in.
We're the only business in the world based in Kensington, California. 2,000 residential houses.
You guys, it's insane that you guys have pulled this off with so little time and I'd say so little resources, because you had little resources, but you could have used more resources. You just didn't. Idiots. All right. Thanks for coming on the podcast. Really appreciate it, guys.
Thanks,
thank
guys.
you, sir.